I'm Lana Pine, Senior Editor of The Educated Patient, and welcome to our third episode of Let's Talk Nutrition with Nico.
Ooh.
Yep, this is a collaborative video series featuring The Educated Patient and Nutritional Outlook. I'm joined, as always, by Nico Saraceno, Senior Editor of NO. Thanks for being here, Nico.
Thank you for having me, Lana. I feel like episode 3, all good things come in 3, so I feel like we've really got our mojo right now, so this is awesome.
Yeah, we've hit our stride. So what's on your mind today?
Oof. Well, I think the last episode 2 was women's health and wellness related, so I figured at the time of this recording, of course, we're in June, and June is Men's Health Month. Actually, last week was Men's Health Week as well, so they got a bunch of different distinctions. But with it being Men's Health Month right now, I figured let's shift our focus on that exactly. So, Educated Patient, you guys have covered a lot of ground here. So, from testosterone to cardiovascular risk to prostate health. So, for Nutritional Outlook, actually, I just had a really interesting chat with Dr. Heather Woolery-Lloyd. She's a board-certified dermatologist. She's the chief medical advisor at Nutrafol. And we talked about a lot of different things, from men's hair thinning and, some of the issues and the stigma surrounding that. So I think it was fascinating for me because it kind of reframed my mindset around the whole topic, and it shed a little more light, pun intended there, shed a little more light on the whole topic as a whole. So I feel like we can definitely dive into that a little bit.
All right, how so?
All right, so a lot of people, like I admit myself included, I think we envision male hair loss as consisting of one thing. There's DHT, which is short for dihydrotestosterone, which, for those who may not be aware, it causes the hair follicle to shrink over time. So that's considered androgenetic alopecia, and it's the most common form of hair loss in men. So what Dr. Woolery-Lloyd did was she explained that that's not the entire story. She kind of dove in a little bit more as to what that's all about.
So what's going on?
Okay, so buckle up here. There's a lot to unpack, but what she started to get into with me was she discussed how 1, nutrition, 2, oxidative stress, 3, metabolism, and 4 rather, general lifestyle factors. She talked about how all 4 of these are influencing the hair follicle. Not only in men, of course, this is also pertinent in women as well. So in her eyes, right, when she's thinking about formulating a nutraceutical that's to be used for hair health and to tackle hair health, she mentioned to me that the objective is more holistic in terms of using that whole body approach that addresses multiple root causes. So it's not just like the hormonal testosterone aspect that many people might think, right? She referred to a newer formula that's targeted for men specifically over the age of 50, because that's where a lot of the hair thinning and the hair loss takes place. So it includes an ingredient called spermidine, which, fascinatingly enough, it's being studied for its role in cellular health processes like autophagy. I said that wrong. Since those become more relevant as men age. So it's a lot to process, and quite frankly, Lana, there's a lot of big words that I'm probably going to butcher on this recording. So I apologize to any dermatologists or any doctors that might see this, because they're probably going to be like, what is wrong with this guy?
I don't think so. But that's a pretty different framing than, what most people would expect.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. So I alluded to it earlier, I think at the top of the show, but it ties into this whole stigma piece. So it may not be as a surprise, or maybe some might be surprised, but men have actually historically been more reluctant than women when it comes to seeking out treatment for hair thinning. So she said that when I was talking to her, she's like, oh, well, the conversations that we're having today are actually helping chip away at the stigma. I think the best solution to addressing a stigma is to find a way to normalize it. So doing a little research here, I actually saw that the Men's Health Network's theme for this year's Men's Health Month is it's being called, quote unquote, Partners in Care, which is essentially about the role that family, community, and support systems are playing when it comes to getting men to engage with their health in the first place. So I think it's a nice marketing technique, and it's a nice parallel to kind of help address that stigma.
So, did she get into the evidence and how that holds up once men do seek something?
She did actually. Um, this is the part I really want to draw attention to for our manufacturer audience. She was very firm in saying that these ingredient level studies, as interesting as they are, what actually matters for a label claim is if there's data on the final formulation. So like the actual product that's being sold. So I think a lot of our audience cares about that. And she was definitely just as empathetic as, about safety as she was about efficacy. She pointed to the NSF certified for sports status as the kind of third party verification that she looks for.
Well, that's a good reminder that efficacy and safety aren't an either or.
No, they're definitely not. And she did share a stat that was very surprising to me. She said that once she finds a hair health product that works for them, they're actually more loyal, like as customers compared to women on average. So here's the stat. You ready? It says at Nutrafol specifically, which is the company she's employed with, male subscribers have a 12-month lifetime value, which is almost 40% higher than female subscribers, which is a lot more significant than I think one would come to realize. And the barrier really seems to be getting men to engage in the first place. This stigma and this barrier and this hair thinning issue. So yeah, I think it's a testament to the beauty of addressing the stigma and finding the right ways to get men to feel more comfortable about, talking through and admitting these problems. So it's great to see how engaged they are right now. It's good news.
Absolutely. It's also a good insight for brands who are thinking about how to reach this audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely. I know I haven't gotten into the exact findings of the study too. Let me just say I do have them on hand. So if any listeners or viewers do want to get in touch with me, feel free. I could share the links and the published studies. But I think it's less about convincing men that hair thinning matters, like once they've decided to act, and it's more about helping them get past that first step of, okay, I've addressed the problem. How do I move on, and how do I properly address this before it gets out of control and before perhaps it's what's considered too late, perhaps.
100%. Well, I think that this was a good episode to wind down Men's Health Month with. So thanks for sharing, Nico.
Yeah, and thanks for having me, Lana. I'm looking forward to the next one. Perhaps we'll find another theme. Maybe I'll find another study that kind of links both NO and EP together. So we'll see what happens. This has been so fun. So I'm looking forward to continuing this.
Yeah, can't wait.